Hello. While many ESL students exhibit proficiency in spoken English, many struggle in written language. They often exhibit problems in conjugation, article usage, and parallel structure.
While many students exhibit these concepts in spoken English and seem proficient, these are often left ignored in academic writing.
In this brief overview, we will identify and correct these minor errors as well as identify how to avoid them in the future.
Hi there. Today we'll be looking at a student's paper who wrote about a clinical study. The student writes, "Studies indicate that among the American adolescents, nearly 20% suffer from feelings of depression." Now looking at that sentence, the article which precedes American seems a bit out of place, doesn't it? That the article actually isn't needed. When talking about nationality, particularly in adjectives, you don't need a definite article. Later on in the sentence, the student writes, "feelings of depression." Also, that article A seems a bit out of place, doesn't it? That's because before wide-scale and general terms like depression, which aren't aforementioned, you actually don't need a definite article, or any article at all, really. So the corrected form should be "from feelings of depression." Many believe that this sudden rise in depression, again, among children can be attributed to an explosive increase in multimedia communication. Now here, the article is used correctly. However, there is a need to switch it from to an, and that's because it precedes explosive. Now explosive is started with a vowel, obviously, and since it's pronounced as an sound, you do need an un. The student continues, "Because proportion of physically interpersonal interactions is diminishing, the preteens and teenagers are often left with an overwhelming feeling of the solitude and the isolation when disconnected from their digital world." Here, the same thing comes up when she mentions a overwhelming feeling of the solitude. That a should be changed to an because it precedes a vowel. Also, when mentioning feelings of the solitude and the isolation, those definite articles actually aren't needed when talking about general emotions. Finishing, a rise in the use of Facebook and texting has had a lasting impact on the social and emotional development of the children. The only last minor correction we need to make here is that the is actually not needed, simply because when referring to children in general, you don't need a definite article.
Welcome. Today we're going to be looking at a student's paper concerning the Odyssey. The Odyssey is one of the oldest stories in all of human history. An oral tradition from ancient Greece, it tells the tale of Odysseus trying journeying home. Alright, the first correction we're going to make is regarding the subject-verb agreement between it and tell. It is a singular noun, and tell is a plural verb, unfortunately, so we need to change it to tells in order to have the sentence make any kind of sense. Continuing on, during his travels, Odysseus outsmarted and battled gods, monsters, and supernatural creatures in order to return to his family. Now in this sentence, there are no grammatical errors technically, but when speaking about literature in reference to the actual plot, you generally want to use present tense. So rather than saying Odysseus outsmarted and battled gods, you want to say he outsmarts and battles gods, monsters, and supernatural creatures. Continuing on, although the story is credited to Homer, some experts believe that it's actually a translation of an Eastern narrative. Now here, the mistake occurs with some expert. Obviously, the expert needs to be plural, but the reason for this is it needs to be in agreement with the determiner some, which specifies that there are multiple experts. In the next sentence, however, these informations are largely hypothetical, and there is little agreement as to the story's original origin. This error occurs again with these informations. The difference between these two nouns here, experts, is what is known as a count noun, meaning that you can have multiple experts, but information is not. It is non-count, and therefore needs to be singular and read this information rather than these informations. In addition, the verb following it needs to correspond as well. So it needs to be changed to is in order to be singular rather than plural.
Hi, Today we'll be working on an essay called Child Abuse, When Will It Stop? Child abuse is defined as a child's physical or being emotionally neglected by their parent or person taking care of them, as well as any harm that the caretaker or parent causes to the child. The issue here is the coordinating conjunction. The coordinating conjunction here is or. The sentence should read as, child abuse is defined as a child's physical or emotional neglect by their parent or caretaker, as well as any harm that the caretaker or parent causes to the child. Next sentence. The abuse can result in the child injuring something or death. The problem with this sentence is correlative conjunction. The sentence should read as, the abuse can result in the child not only injuring something, but also dying. Injuring and dying should be parallel. Or, you could say, the abuse can result in the child having serious injuries or death. Finally, drug and alcohol problems can cause parents to lose their lack of judgment and controlling of their actions. The problem with this sentence is the ing verbs do not match. The sentence should read as, drug and alcohol problems can cause parents to lose their lack of judgment and control of their actions. Thank you.
Delving into the most common grammatical errors made by ESL students, we hope this video has been both instructional and enjoyable.
If you have any further questions, do feel free to stop by our offices, as we are just a hop and a skip away.
From all of us here at the Writing Center, we thank you for your commitment to our endeavor towards excellence, and we hope to see you again soon. Thank you.
Goodbye.